Beautiful day, snowy day here in the wilderness. And thanks for being here. I'm Ember. And there were so many times where I felt that my flame may go out, whether through the cold of the environment or through the ashes of the selves that I tried to fit in so many different types of boxes to make work, usually for other people or for circumstances, in ways that I wasn't immediately and very consciously super aware of throughout most of my life. And so, Ember, like a possibility of reignited flame underneath a pile of ashes, underneath these ashes of selves, fires blazed, trails blazed, and burned again and again in order to scream out to the cosmos, I am here. To myself, I am here, please see me. And having the echoes come back in ways that made me feel like the flame may be snuffed out, whether it was the opinion of others or the circumstances of my life that I had stepped into in like the boldest way of trying to make the sacrifice, feel worthy through sacrificing my notion of self in order to find a version of familial or societal success that in the end would never truly satisfy me at the soul level. And that's the type of process that I want to talk about throughout these videos. And so the idea of Ember, like the part of a fire that has to be kept alive, that will endure, that will have a resilience, that has the possibility of igniting a conflagration. And I'm now no longer seeking the flame as much. I feel like I'm becoming the flame and the fire and the heat itself. And that's also why I'm sharing, because it took me quite a bit of time to come to this place, and that's not something that I wish upon anyone. And I think the more we put our minds and hearts together, the more we're able to collectively progress and walk each other home. And so I would describe this process as almost an original and super deep version of faith, in the sense that it wasn't a blind faith. And I often say blind moth to flame, but what I mean is that, like, for example, here in the summer, there's lots of little moths that, if you leave your light on, will, congregate on my window and paste themselves to the window in an attempt to reach that light. They don't exactly know what the light is. It's a light inside my house, right? But they're trying to get to it because they know, even in their deepest instinctual hearts, that they must move towards that. And that's how I would describe this process. A flame inside me, like an ember underneath a pile of ashes, that I felt the heat for as long as I can remember, but I didn't know what exactly it was. It was deeper than preference. It was the deepest layer of the onion of self, the core of self. And in circumstances where you're working off of conditional circumstances, conditional love, transactional relationships, you can box yourself in a way that creates a cycle of traumatic pain and losing yourself under the ashes, and maybe having moments where you may never feel the heat again, or fear you may never feel the heat again. One of the best pieces of advice that's ever stuck with me is, you have a wellspring of love inside you. As long as you use that, you don't need to know the path. And that's also what it's felt like, that I had to trust that this intuitive self, the most intuitive part of my heart, was guiding me through each step. And I would say, you know how when people lick their finger and hold it up to the wind or whatever? Oh, yeah, judging this basic human corporeal barometer. Well, it's kind of like that in the most delicate sense. You are using your most intuitive part of your heart, the most intuitive part of your soul, something that goes beyond cultural illusions. It's something only you know, a flame or fire or heat only you know. And that means you have to actually be able to hear the voice inside you, that intuition. And so along the way, whether it was through my expression of art or attire, I just kept hurling myself, even if there was cringe, even if I felt like I was making myself uncomfortable, into what felt true, real, alive, in a way that kept me instinctually seeking it again and again, reigniting that flame and keeping the faith alive. And so I'm going to get deeper into these subjects, but I just wanted to lay some of this out in the level that I'm going to be speaking at. We're not talking about something, oh, you just happen to be choosing to be a girl because you failed as a guy, something like that. This is not a choice, this is a soul quest. And not that it wouldn't be my choice, but I want to emphasize that this is a soul quest. It's something that I believe the cosmos is doing to churn through specific souls in order to widen the possible latitude of human expression, human love, and human connection. That by giving a part of the genetic or mimetic spectrum, however you want to look at it, that exists somewhere in this unique space of soul, of person, they necessarily have the ability to, tread between worlds, between lenses, and that gives, I believe, an extreme depth or vision that I've seen a lot in the people that I've spoken to. And I guess that's the resonance that I feel when I'm exploring these ideas within myself and hearing others explore, that it's this feeling that this is something that exists in the deepest levels of heart and soul. And that's the level that I want to speak on, and I appreciate you listening for this particular round. I will continue this video series, and I just wanted to explain a little bit of the background of the idea of Ember, and I look forward to speaking to you guys again really soon.